Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Buzz on Galaxy Television. Today is Thursday, it's the 2nd of May 2024, the second day after May Day, after Workers' Day. All right, just to mention, the issues bordering around welfare of workers is still very much on the front burner. All right, Labour is insisting on 615,000 naira as going forward, the new living wage. They're not even calling it minimum wage anymore. It is living wage. According to them, they're all out defending why 615,000 naira is just okay for an average Nigerian worker to get by every month. Meanwhile, the federal government, by that I mean President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, still says he's waiting for a report from the committee chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima, who have been given the responsibility to sit down with Labour and decide and agree on what the new minimum wage will be. So as it is, Vice President Kashim Shettima, help us, John Toriolo, so that we know at least what the fate of workers will be. Can we hurry up with that report? All right, because the president is waiting for it. Why are you keeping our president waiting? Please, let's have that report before the close of work today. Welcome to the show. It's the lifestyle edition of the program. My name is Patience. It's a delight to be here. As always, having to say, sitting in the midst of very beautiful women. You know now, it's not easy. All right, I have two of my analysts who are joining me on the program this afternoon. And together, we'll be looking at trending lifestyle stories coming off of the social media space. First, how do you deal with an issue where a woman is pregnant for her brother-in-law and then finds out the husband has an entire different family abroad? Okay, we'll get into that as we react to the trending video. I have Mrs. Abiola Ogbu joining us on the program this afternoon. She's a relationship coach, a professional counselor, a member of African Network of Professional Counselors. She's also the lead counselor at Right Mindset Consult. She's also part of Igniting Hope for the Less Privileged initiative, or rather on the philanthropy side. And it's a pleasure to have her join us here. She's a relationship, marriage, and family therapist, Mrs. Abiola Ogbu. Welcome to the show again, ma'am. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to you too. Okay, and of course, the class prefect herself, looking beautiful as always. Yeah, she's sitting on the right-hand side of the father. All right, she's joining us as an author of 2 fast-selling books. She's also a minister of God, and of course, she's joining us as a marriage and relationship counselor, Pastor Dolly. Dolly is back on the show. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I love your top. It's beautiful. I love the color. I mean, pastel colors like that just resonates with me. It's beautiful. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
And of course, to the viewers, you're welcome. The number to use will be on the screen shortly. You can send us a text to contribute to the program. Plus, you can watch live on X, that's formerly Twitter, or you can watch on StarTimes, or just download the Galaxy TV app right on your phone and watch us on the go. Plus, you can watch relays of the program later on YouTube and Facebook. And we'll get straight into the matter. Okay, so this topic keeps recurring, you know, from different perspectives. I know we've discussed something very similar to this, you know, long ago on the program, but people are talking about it again, which is why we're bringing it back to the table. Is on this issue of whether or not children, you know, should take upon themselves the responsibility of catering for their aging parents. Okay, so recently somebody on X, that's formerly Twitter, actually went online to say it's not the responsibility of children to take care of their parents. All right, so a lot of people started commenting on his tweets, and a Nigerian man also came out to explain why he feels that it is his own responsibility to do everything he possibly can for his aged parents, because of how they contributed to his, upbringing and well-being even as an adult. All right, so it's a longish tweet. I don't want to waste time and go into all of the what he put online, but he just explained how even after he graduated from the university, of course you expect that he will go find a job and all that, but then he told his father he wanted to open up a studio. And the father asked, is that really what you want to do? He said yes. While he's waiting for any other thing to come along, can he please open a studio? And his father gave him 5 million naira. Not just that, also bought everything on the list that he needed to set up a studio. And aside that, his mother now asked, are you sure after all this money we've wasted on you in university, this is what you want to do? And he said yes. And all of the big clients that he got at his studio all came from referrals from his mother. And he said that touched him in a way nothing else has ever touched him, how his parents supported him even when they weren't sure, but he will never leave those kind of parents in their old age. Anything they ask for, they get it. But then surprisingly, but not too surprisingly, a lot of people on social media, especially from the Gen Z, are saying they don't owe their parents anything, even in old age. Why I say it's not surprising is because I also met someone in the line of this job, a full-blown adult, a female, who once told me, because I was always all about, oh, I have to see my mom, I have to see my dad, I have to do this. I'm like, why are you always so bothered about your parents' well-being? It's not your responsibility. Let them take care of themselves. Yes, someone has told me to my face before. That's why I'm not surprised some people are expressing their opinion, because we were all raised differently. While this is trending online, Nollywood actress Dayo Amusa also waded into the conversation, bringing it from another perspective. According to what she put online, she's advising parents not to see their children as, who will take care of them in old age. Rather, they should be intentional about planning for their own old age. According to Dayo Amusa, she recommended that while parents strive to uplift their own children, they should also focus on their own personal growth and development. Like she said, don't use all of your life savings to raise your kids. All right, so this is on the table, ladies. Is it the responsibility of children really to care or cater, for their elderly parents? I'll start with you, Mrs. Ogbu.
This topic is very controversial. And everybody will be speaking from their own perspective. While waiting for this time, someone said, send me a write-up. Say, this is my own contribution after seeing my post. And it talks about honoring parents, and the Bible said, honor thy father and mother. And I sat there and I said, it's possible to honor your parents, but don't care for them. What is honoring? You're showing them respect and gratitude for the role they play in your life. And it's sad enough that a lot of parents, so the caring for elderly people, which is the elder care, is the responsibility of both the children and the people, the parents themselves. For instance, like you said earlier, you've spent all your time caring and taking care of these children. And like the African mentality, it is expected that there is even an adage that says when the rat, okete, what do you call a rat, has grown, he starts sucking the breast of his own kid. Meaning that whatever I'm doing is for my children to take care of me. What about someone who doesn't have a child, who now takes care of her? So the responsibility is, while you're taking care of your children, I'm of the opinion your self-care is key. Also plan, because the value system now has changed. The kind of Gen Z we are having now, they don't want to care. They don't care. It's about them. That's why they will tell you, why should, it's not my responsibility. They will even tell you, I'm your child, it's your responsibility to cater for me, whether they have it or not. And another side to it, like I normally tell parents when I go for a naming ceremony, I say, be there for your children. You can care for a parent out of necessity and not out of love. As in, people will say, you see your mama they suffer now, so that your name will know you'll be doing it. Yeah, it's not because you're there. They do it out of legality, out of let's just do it duty. But that honoring which has to show with gratitude and love, it's not there. And that is why now we now have where people dump their mothers in homes. Now in Nigeria, I've seen one close to my house, and my husband was like, this woman has been there. Why are they dumping her here? And she may not see, the kids are not even in Nigeria, so they won't see her. So it is just, if a man has spent time nurturing you from the womb, it is expected. Even the Bible command, that's the first commandment with a promise: honor thy father and thy mother. At old age, they carried you, they can't carry themselves. Some of them even down with sickness. Then you now abandon them. Even if some of them have not really been there for you, which in practical terms, there are some parents, they are absentee parents. They were not there. I remember an example my pastor was sharing, how the man will come home, everybody will disappear because he was the lion of the tribe of his house. He wasn't there, he wasn't showing love, he wasn't paying attention. So now he's old, and you know at old age they need attention. Yes. Most of them need is time. I have a mother-in-law that is 99. She wants to see you. It's not what you are even giving her. They want to spend time
around.
So he now discovered that when he comes home, the kids are gisting with their mother. The moment he steps in, they will just file out one after the other. They will regroup somewhere again and continue. He will step in, they will scatter, and I said, we're not there when they need you. So sometimes, there is not how the example you gave. Your parents stood for you even when they didn't even trust that vision. But because they love you, they sacrifice it to you.
Out.
So it will be absurd and abnormal for you to now abandon such parents. But even in a stance where they did not do what they are supposed to do, you still owe it to God and to humanity to care for your own parents.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ogbo. All right, just to buttress what you have said, about sometimes it's not about what they send to you, but about them being physically, present or available for you. The actress Dayo Amusa, she also mentioned the case of her uncle who raised all his family abroad. He died at 78, and none of his kids came back home to bury him or even give him the very last respect, which is why she's saying, as you're investing in your children, also plan for your own old age, because at the end of the day, you might just be all you have. Okay, so Pastor Dolly, how would you react to this issue of children caring for their aging parents? Is it a responsibility for the children?
It's not just a responsibility. It is something that is demanded of you to take care of your aging parents. And it's not just about bringing you to the world. There is a lot of sacrifice parents make. I want to take myself, for instance, when I was in school. I remember my mom going out of her way to borrow money to pay school fees for me. I remember when she belonged to this meeting, at the end of the year, they will buy clothes. When she goes to collect her own money for clothes from them, so she can be able to pay school fees for us. There's no way. There's no anybody is going to tell me. There's no prophet anywhere that is going to tell me today that my own mother is a witch, that will make me not to take care of my mother. With the little ability that I have, I see it as something that is demanded of me. I see it as my duty to take care of my mother. Even if it is, for instance, she is in Benin, I'm in Lagos, and I make it a point of duty to call her at least once a day. We
spoke to her just before the studio.
Oh, we spoke to her. We
yes, we did video call.
Oh, she even spoke to my mom before we came on air. I see it as my responsibility to make sure on a daily basis I talk to her. And I discovered that talking to her, just hearing from her children, makes her very happy.
Yes.
And I make sure I do that for her. When I hear people take their parents to old people's home and all that, for me, it's something that is a no-no. For me, my mother in such a home, it's not possible. So I think the youth or the people of these days need to understand, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You may have all the money today. You may have all the wealth that you need to have today. Yeah, but one thing you must understand, you are not God. You don't know tomorrow. It's only God that knows tomorrow. That you have it today does not mean you will have it tomorrow. That is nobody's prayers for you. But you must sow what you want to reap. If you feel that your mother or your father is a burden to you, I think you just need your brain to be examined. If you feel that, okay, they should, why will they be able to labor for their tomorrow when everything they are making now is just for your own upkeep? They are even borrowing to add, to take care of your school fees, to take care of your feeding. So how do you want them to save for tomorrow? As far as I'm concerned, you are their investment for tomorrow. You are their investment for tomorrow, and you cannot afford to dump them. No, you must take care of them. Even for those of us, even Jesus, he was talking to the Pharisees. He said, you will say that it is honor for you to take what you are supposed to give to your father and your mother to bring it to the house of God. It's not an honor. Jesus rebuked them for doing that, which means it is expected of you. Your first responsibility before you take tithes to church, before you take offering to church, is your parent. Your parent, if you have, maybe you have 100,000 naira tithe you want to take to church, and you know that your mother, your father does not have food to eat at all, you must take from that 100,000 to feed your parent. Because even Jesus said, how can you say you love God? Even the human being you see, you don't love them. The love is not seen from you to them, and you are saying you love God. No, the first place we demonstrate love for God is with our parents, is with those who raised us. If we are not grateful for what they did, how can we say we are grateful to God? No, we must take care of our parents. It's a must. We don't have any excuse. We don't have any reason. Oh, she's a witch. Let her be a witch. A witch gave back to you now. Take care of the witch. That is what you have. Take care of the witch that you have. You know, the funny part of it is that the moment they are gone, it will dawn on you what you have missed. Yeah. My dad died 2005. Till now, I still miss my dad. I still miss those stories he used to tell us. I still miss those questions I will ask him, even questions that we will not ask. You will ask my dad, he has answers to them all for you. He will play with you and all that. I still miss him for that. And I have an elder sister who raised me. She's of blessed memory. I wish she was here. I still miss her. She died 2004.
Okay.
Yeah. And I still miss her. Not 2004 now. She died 1994. Yeah, 1994. I still miss her so badly. She's the one that raised me. If I have nothing, my mom is 100 and she's still here. I cannot sit that my sister to take care of. Why will I not take care of it? My mother who gave her to me. Wow. She was the mother I knew. She was the one who raised me. But the mother who gave her to me, she gave me a very precious gift in that my sister. And she's not here. So why can't I take care of my mother that is here for me?
Thank you, ladies. You want to add?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
For the parents of this age, the narrative is changing. You know, most of our old parents weren't working class women. They were either petty traders, some were even full-time housewives, or who are farmers, who were really struggling to take care of the family, to support. But now you are a mother, you're a father, you're a parent, you're working where you even have pension scheme, going for somewhere for your retirement age. Please, let's change the narrative. As you're taking care of the children, spend time to prepare for your own self. Because sometimes life happens. You think it's the child that will take care of you, and the child goes before you. What happens to you? So prepare for your old age, your retirement, so that even if the children are not bringing anything, you're good to go. In fact, the Bible said that a good man leaves inheritance for his children's children. So God should bless us as parents such that we have what we can say, okay, grandpa is giving us this. Can you imagine waking up and they say your grandfather left 1 billion for you? How do you feel? You feel good. So let's not just put all our eggs in the basket as parents and say, my pikin, I don't spend that, he will take care of me. Self-care is key. Take care of yourself. Put something aside for yourself. In case life happens and children are not there for you, your life will not stop. That is my point.
Wow, all right, such an interesting conversation. Also, the comments online are very interesting as well on this issue of kids and their responsibilities to parents. All right, I do know that our thoughts or our feelings on what our relationships with our parents should be varies, you know, according to life experiences and the kind of upbringing that we got. For instance, a child who literally raised himself or had irresponsible parents will not feel obligated, you know, to take care of those parents in whatever condition they find themselves in old age. I do know that. But then you mentioned that not only is it like a responsibility, it's even much more than that. It is expedient for you as a child to at least, okay, like you said, you know, honor.
But what if the emotional bank account with the parents?
Yeah, I don't even agree with you on that statement. I don't think I can honor someone whom I don't have feelings for. For me, gratitude is a verb. For me, it's a doing word. It's an action word.
Showing respect and gratitude.
Yeah, I cannot respect and be grateful to if I don't really feel like a connection. So
that is why I always advocate that we raise children to love people. We raise children to love humanity. Because if we don't raise them to love people, it will be difficult for them to have love for us.
Exactly. You can't give what you don't have.
If they love people, even if you are wanting in a one way or the other, you've not done enough for them. But because there's
love in them,
they will still have some love to give to you as their parents.
Empathy will be
they
there.
will give to
empathy.
They will have love to give to everyone around them. But if they don't have love in them, they are not raised to have love in them. You'll be asking for love from them. You can't get it because you didn't sow love in them, raising them. It's very important that we help our children.
Look, I know that some people
they should be to others.
I know some people did not have the privilege to have a family. You know what I mean? Like to come from a
family where you have daddy, mommy, and all that.
You know, and you were shown love. Some people didn't have that privilege, because they can't relate sometimes when you who came from that. You are talking about, you know, how badly you miss a mother who has passed on. I have listened to a young man before talk about his parents, that he was talking about outsiders, you know, like there was no feelings, and that gives you like an idea of the kind of upbringing such a person had. So I do understand that there are people like that, but as much as you can, all right, it is like, I use the word again, expedient, that you take care of not just even your own parents who are elderly, but anyone around you who is elderly, who is in need, that you can afford to assist. And having said that, the times are changing, like Mrs. Obu said. We as working class parents of this generation also have to plan for old age, because old age is upon everybody. Now, let me read a bit further what Dayo Amusa put online. I quote, "Lately, having all your kids abroad looks like an achievement until your old age sets in. That is when you will know that sending you money is not as important as having them around you. That's when you will understand that life's fulfillment is beyond money, but quality time spent with your grown-up children and grandchildren." And she went on to say, "Men, this is not a matter of marrying many wives. It's about being intentional with your old age plans. And if marrying more than one wife is your strategic plan, ensure you execute it with wisdom. Parents seem to cater so much for their kids that they forget themselves in the process. Do not forget yourself in the mathematical equation of life. Always put yourself into consideration. This old age we are talking about is nearer than we think. You matter a lot too." End of quote. And for me, that's just putting it aptly by Dayo Amusa. All right, check up on your parents, please, while you still have them here, because like Pastor Dolly said, when they are gone, you will miss them. Okay, I miss my mother every single day. Okay, so I called my dad yesterday because it was a new month,
Oh,
and
oh.
you know, and I'm like, okay, happy new month. And he laughed and I thank you so much for this call. I appreciate it. He said it twice, and I'm like,
It's a big deal.
I'm like, but I saw you on Saturday.
Yeah.
I saw him on Saturday. We saw.
Honestly, Pat, talking about what
He
you
said
were
it
saying,
twice. I appreciate this call. I appreciate. Thank you, Pepe, for calling. I'm like,
I could relate. I could relate.
Wow.
I lost my
He
dad.
was
at
lonely
8
at that very
eight-
Wow.
When I was 8 years plus, I lost my dad. And I lost my mom about close to 8 years ago, and I happened to be the only child of my mother. And then losing my dad at that tender age, my grandfather became a father. So, and when my grandfather passed on, and now married, I have a father-in-law who is over 100.
wow.
I was loving him like
yeah.
in fact, I will go from Lagos to Enugu with things to do, manicure and pedicure for him, soak his legs, so they will keep his nails. Uju is coming. And you know, that is just it. And I was like, okay, my dad was there. I lost him so tender, early and all that. And you know, sometimes, some of the things, the bonding with children, some of these children, it's not as if they don't want to take care of these age people. There's this emotional bank account. That connection. A child you have left at the mercy of the house help. You go to work, there's no
They
bonding.
don't know you.
You provide for their school fees, their needs, but they don't know you. You don't have bond. So it's normal, they can send you money, but they are not there. They don't want to see you. How many times have you heard people have their father being buried and they didn't show up?
Yeah.
They send them money, they say,
Yeah.
I can't make it. They kept giving excuses. And it's because I remember a couple said, one of us have to resign today. The child I'm working for is asking, are you our uncle? Mommy, there's one uncle in the parlor wearing boxers.
Wow. And
That
that's
was
the
the dad,
father.
because the girl have never seen the dad in the daylight, because before they are awake, he's off. Before he comes back,
They
they
are
are
asleep.
asleep.
Wow.
So he said, I had to, we call a meeting, one of us must, because they are losing
Something was
when
funny.
I was 7
Okay.
then, so I said, I took my 4 years leave. I told them, I went to school, please release my children for 2 weeks. They are not coming to school. If my child is already calling me uncle, are you our uncle? He said, I'm working because of you people are calling me. He said, I want to bond. So there should be bonding. Be intentional, be deliberate about being present in your children's life, so that when you need them, they are there for you.
All right.
Another thing, patience. I want
Quickly,
to
ma'am.
quickly say about this whole parents and children relationship. You know, another thing we must teach our children to do is to be appreciative. Sometimes because we don't want them to appreciate the other person who at one time or the other contributed to their success in life. We don't want that person to be seen. You understand? We kind of either mess their mind up against the person they are supposed to appreciate. So they have been taught not to appreciate.
And it will fly back.
And it will fly back to you. They will not appreciate you.
Of course.
But if you have taught them to appreciate, let me tell you the truth. The fact that they appreciated somebody, or calling the person daddy or whatever, does not make that person their father. They know who carried them in the womb for 9 months. They know who is who their parents are. So the idea of trying to shield them from the other person, they should have appreciated.
Valid points.
It
Yeah.
is boomerang.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for your very apt contribution this afternoon. Right, this is a very deep conversation. We can discuss it the entire program, but we have to move on to other things. But bottom line, what we have talked about today is, as a child, you have elderly parents. It is even a privilege that you have them. Take it seriously, okay? Appreciate, love up on them while they're still here, because one day we are here, the next day we are gone. All right, so let's show love one to another, because God, who created all of us, is love himself, and the Bible says God is love. He who abides in love abides in God. All right, so if even if you don't believe in God, all right, if you have love in you, you already have God. Let me tell you the truth. So it is what it is.